Welcome to this brief little video, of what we're going to decide to call. Well, I don't know what we're going to call it, but just helping you out. And what do you do when you join 60WF? Obviously, my usual host is here with me, JJ, and we're just going to run through like the basic do's and don'ts, how to do it. Just make sure you don't fall off the proverbial cliff.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to kick this off.
Yeah, obviously the first point in the call is the website, which is www.606v2.com. There are a bunch of letters and thingies after it, but I don't remember them at the minute. Scroll down.
Yeah, that'll bring you to it anyway. Obviously.
Sorry.
Go on, mate.
You scroll down, you hit his 6CWF, and you get kicked to the main page. You get kicked to the main page where like 90% of the topics are. And you can do one or two things. You can go to the chat. You can say, "Hi, I want to join," and they'll just ask you, "Oh, how do you do that?" And JT, if you'd like to just give them a few brief pointers about what they do to join and all that.
Yeah, no problem. So, hi to everybody. Many proverbial, some potential new members. Yeah, so you come onto the 6CWF section of the V2 forum. You're probably better off posting in the chat section, because I think if you're a new member, I'm pretty sure you've got to post like 10 times before you can send private messages or something. I'm sure it's something like that. So yeah, just throw up a hi, and obviously we'll get back to you. I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Or if I'm not there, obviously everybody else is pretty helpful and direct you towards like character sheets. So obviously where you design your character to get you started, which obviously can be whatever you want. But that's your first port of call, is probably your character sheet after you've signed up. Because that's who you're going to be handling for the future.
I'm surprised it's not a separate page on its own. I mean, but we've got a little new to e-fedding Here are some tips section, and I'm just going to run through the basics of basically what to expect, what to do, what not to do. The first prime example is as soon as you create a character, don't think you're the best thing in the universe, but don't think you're the worst either. You're just you might be new to this, you might not be. The thing is, just my main focus is always having fun. I mean, on the podcast we've just recorded, I've just described myself as I'm going to get my ass kicked. I know this. I'm not going to write, I'm going to get my ass kicked and sound defeatist. No way in hell. What I'm going to do is basically just go, right, here's what I have to do. I look at the scenario I'm given, go, right, here's what I expect, and say, can I make this work to my advantage? I don't just write like long paragraph after paragraph, or long, like one solid block of text saying like 500,000 different things. That's what I don't do. I'd like to basically separate it out and just go, right, here's a talking point, here's a talking point, here's a talking point. Have I hit all of these? Yes? Good. I can post it. No? Okay. What have I missed? Where can I add it in?
Yeah. So just to break it down, I was just thinking there. So obviously you fill out your character sheet, you design. It's like, SmackDown versus Raw game or something. It's basically a create a wrestler kind of thing, scenario, whatever. It can be as close to a real wrestler as you want, or it can be something completely fictional, depending on your creative process. So you fill that out. You ask for basically you're talking about, it's a biography, isn't it? So age, but where you're born, like move sets, etc., theme music, and you'll do all that.
Yeah,
self-explanatory. You'll walk through. You'll post that to myself. I'll take hold of it, and then we'll get you involved in our shows, which we run every 10 days.
Oh,
We're running shows every 10 days.
yeah, run shows every 10 days. Just a point of note, JJ might not be able to fit you in straight away because obviously he's got plans to work around. So you might be in like you might just, I don't know, you might not be in the next show. You might be on the one after. It's just, if you're up there, you're up there. But that isn't an excuse to just say nothing. It's a case of get yourself out there, get yourself noticed, interact with guys. Possibly interact with people having matches. See, I don't know, say if I'm in a match with Blue Dragon, and it's like, oh, hi there. You basically just come up and just trash talk me to my face. I'm going to respond to you.
I just, as well, what I'd like to point out, whilst I fully agree with, get yourself involved, it can be pretty daunting, I guess, if you've never done it before or whatever. And as I say to the guys who've been involved in it for a lot of years, like, please do not, like, take it mad serious in terms of just have a laugh. That'd be my main point, is just enjoy it. Don't take it too serious. Don't get bogged down. Yes, please, if you can promo, fantastic, because it helps develop your character, helps me to develop your character. But again, real life comes first. If you've got stuff going on, you can't always get something up. Don't really worry about it. If you can drop me a line, say, look, I'm busy this week or whatever, no bother at all. I just want people to have a good time, and I think it is. I think, well, the fact that we've been going 17 years on and off, we must be doing something fairly right, and people must be fairly having a good time, I would imagine.
Yeah, and I know I might be slightly repeating myself, but like I say, once you get in there, once you're having fun and enjoying yourself, just, I personal opinion, go with the flow. If you lose, don't if you basically lose a match, it's like, okay, don't really complain about it. I'd say, right, okay, I've lost. What can I do with this?
Yeah, I mean, you can complain if you want, but I mean, you're just complaining to me, and there's, it's not that I'm not going to listen, because I'll listen to anybody, and if it's a legitimate thing, but I think you've got to understand that, like with anything in life, especially a wrestling kind of faux wrestling promotion, whatever, there's a process, there's storylines, there's reasons. You might think you've hit the home run of a promo, the best promo you've ever done or whatever, and you end up losing. That's not always a reflection on how good your promo was or how good your opponent's promo was. But, you've got to look at it in terms of, look at a real wrestling fed. If you're going to have a feud for a month, 2 months, 3 months, you can't just have the same bloke winning every match, because it's not a feud, is it? It's just a walkover. So we've got to develop ways to make it interesting.
Yeah. From my personal experiences, like I say, I was hot shit. I got humbled, and I was down. Literally, I was down quite low down for a while. But like I say, I kept at it. I've been around for, I think it's about 15 years on and off. But still, I enjoy doing this because it allows my creative side to come out. If you make a boring that is bland as toast, if you make a promo as bland as toast, it will just be seen as toast. You basically got to add that little spark, add that little edge. It doesn't matter if you're a heel, if you're a face, if you're a tweener. If you want to if you can add that edge to it, that will get you noticed, and that will not just by JT, but by everyone.
Yeah, but I also think as well, what I would say is make it interesting for yourself. And what I mean by that is, I've had a few characters over the years, and you get started, and then there's not a lot to them, and then you struggle. You'll hit crit. I mean, you probably have writer's block anyway at some point, because that happens to anybody. But if there's a character and you just think, do you know what, there's just nothing here. Like, I can't work with this. So I would advise to really think about it, and I would also whether it's heel or face, don't try and create the perfect character. In terms of what I mean by that as well, is that, you know, if you're going to be promoing against people, there has to be give and take. So, for my character, for example, JJ, he's got his faults, and people are going to pick up on that in promos, and you have to be willing to accept that you're not going to win every battle. And don't try to win every battle. I've seen that, you know, where some people do like 20 promos and a back and forth because they have to get the last word, or, you know, they have to look stronger. But that's not how wrestling works. You have to. Sometimes I've had feuds where I purposefully let somebody have the last word, or I purposefully let somebody look better than me, because that's how it's supposed to work. Like, you don't win every time. You don't always come out on top every time. You know, you've just got to see it as like a TV show, innit? That's the way I'd look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd absolutely agree with that. I mean, I will say though, there are sometimes people you can just click with, but also there are times when people you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on both ends of both ends of that, and it's a case of, if you feel stuck, do not be afraid to ask for help. I mean, the one rule I think we generally all agree on is, well, we don't twat each other's character. We don't twat each other in promos unless there's like exceptions. And you don't really use other characters that somebody else active has. I mean, again, I've used Max Adamson a couple of times, but I've always asked Mark his permission, and that was just minor things, like just checking. Okay, would he say it like this?
Yeah, I'd say permissions, and you're absolutely right. I'd say that's probably the biggest golden rule, isn't it? We don't do physical altercation in promos without permission. We don't use other people's characters without permission. There's always if you can rock up some back and forth private messages between you. There's some great examples of promos that have got fights in them and stuff like that. It's just not fair to use somebody's character and make them look or potentially weak or whatever if they haven't gave you the say so. Yeah, like I said, just there's a lot of do's and don'ts. A lot of it, though, you know, you're going to pick up as you go along. I'd say my biggest thing, just be open-minded, and just open to. I don't want to say trust the process, because it sounds like a fucking bit sad, but kind of just, like you said, go with the flow, and just whatever comes your way, try and work with it. If you can't work with it, talk to me, and I'll try and, you know, work with you. You know, and other people. Got a lot of guys that have been around a long time, and, you know, they'll work with you if they can.
Yeah, I mean, like say, I think you mentioned this earlier, but my important thing is just to enjoy what you do. Like say, with me, it's I'm going to be. This is no shocker to most people around here, but with you, it's me. It's literally what you see is what you get with me. This is how I would normally respond. This is how I would act. That's how I basically justify it, because I'm putting myself down on the page. If you do, I mean, everyone has their own style. You have a different style, fine. Go run with it, just as long as you enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think it's about finding your style. Like, I think some people obviously know their style, you know, from other walks of life or whatever. From if you've done creative writing or whatever, you might know and be comfortable with a style. I think that is the most important thing. Like you said there, I think there's a couple of guys, yourself included, who basically just use themselves as a character, pretty much, and how they would react to the sort of situations that they're put in, which I guess is kind of easier that way, because it's a reflection of self, isn't it? So, I mean, that's probably quite a good idea. I mean, as you can clearly tell from me talking, I'm not some black Afro-American, so I'm sort of an out-of-body experience. But I found a comfortable style with my writing, which obviously I've been doing now for nearly 2 decades, which is scary. And I think it's just about that. It's about whatever, there's some people that do characters that I could never ever do. It's just about whatever comes as natural to you as possible.
Just a couple of things. Well, obviously, there's try and be descriptive as well. But like, say, if you don't feel like pushing it too far, that's fine. But like, say, give us some description. Like, it could be just what you're wearing, where you are. I mean, 90% of the time, I'm sitting on a roof, and I basically sometimes have to describe the pipes I'm working with because I twat them or something.
Yeah, see, like your character, like you said, it's become almost synonymous, hasn't it, with the on the roof and that, and probably a bit like Sting back in the rafters and the old NWO days and that. But I think, yeah, description. I think this is the thing that we're all kind of guilty of it, myself included. But with your promos, we all do our Fed compared to other Feds. We're very much in ring, and people have got a lot to say for themselves, but that isn't a given, or it isn't an expectation with promos. Like, you could write a promo with very, very minimal dialogue and a lot of description, and I think it's just as good. I don't think you look at mainstream wrestling, not every promo that you watch has got somebody speaking endlessly. It'd be quite different and quite nice, actually, to see different approaches. We do a lot. I think our Fed centers a lot on back and forths. It's not necessary. They're good and great, but we've always kind of set a lot of store by them, and I don't think it's not needed.
Yeah, I can kind of agree. I mean, there are times where I've wanted basically to go full description, but it's just trying to push myself that little bit further. And on a completely slightly random change of topic, if you are new here, don't ask for wins. It's like one of the silliest things you could do. I mean, it's just all about entertaining. It's all about basically you having fun. And yeah, losses may not be ideal. It's like, oh, wait, that happened. I'm going to go cry. It's like, it's a story. There's a story happening here. I mean, I'm on a crazy, oh, God, I found out once it's Born in Fire.
I think I gave you one win a little while ago, but
yeah,
pretty much you've had one win, haven't you, in a long time?
If I can cheer about it? No. It's just a case of, okay, I know there's something happening here, and I'm just enjoying going back and forth with people. I mean, Perfect Jack was good. Going with Chris Patrick's now, that's going to be a banger in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
but still, it's just as long as you have fun doing what you do.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, like I said, results can be disgrunting for people. I get that. We're all human. What I will say is that, me personally as a booker, I'm never, ever, ever going to intentionally bury anybody. I don't think I ever have. Maybe when I was young and immature, but we don't do things like that anymore. It's very, very much just a case of a load of guys or girls, whatever. Just having it's a creative outlet, Try not to take it too seriously. I mean, fantastic, you've great at it. You win a lot of titles, and you can have a imaginary sort of trophy cabinet at home. But in reality, yeah, it's just something different. It's just something to get away. That's the way I treat it. It's just nice sometimes to put on a different hat, kind of move away from real life and a little bit of a creative process. And yeah,
I completely understand that. I mean, like I say, there's times when real life has gotten in the way of my work. It's I've put out some of the worst things in the universe, and that's not a joke. It's I've put up some awful promos. It's just it is because of my mood, and it is shown. If you need to take a break away, go for it. If you feel okay, I've got writer's block, or I don't know, something's happened, for example, death in the family, I don't know, you've lost your job or something, That's fine. Just as long as you let somebody know, and they'll just go, right, okay, this is what we're doing. If you can, go for it. I mean, somebody's broken their leg recently, and they're still thinking of promoing. Yet, all of us are pretty much saying, focus on your leg, mate.
Yeah, don't want. Look, that's what I'll say again. It's a pastime. It's a hobby. It's just having a bit of a laugh. Please do never ever take this place seriously. Like in terms of anything that you've got going on. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like anything. Just anything. Like that's more important. We're not going anywhere. You know, if anybody ever wants to chat or they want to vent about stuff they've got going on, again, happy days. Always there to listen, but never think to yourself or get bogged down or stressed about, you know, a make believe. I know, we'd like more people to join, but I don't want anyone to ever get bogged down with what we do. Like I said, it's just a laugh.
Yeah, this isn't join or die.
No, it's not join or die, but it's also not like if you join that, we expect X amount of promos per show or X amount of commitment or screen time or, it doesn't matter. Like none of it matters. It's a community that we've created over a long time, and, we all know one another and it's just nice. You can come on, you drop a message, you get a few responses, everybody talks and Ed comes out with some sort of weird shit and we're just, it's just, do you know what I mean? But it's just, I see it like
I know exactly what you mean.
we're just a family, aren't we? I think it's just a very sort of, messed up sort of online community / family that, we're just, we're there. We're there, we exist, we do what we do. It's just, it'd be nice to get some more people and just have a chat. Even, like we said before, even if you're not overly that engaged, I think we've had people before who've probably created characters who they've just gone through the motions with, but they've enjoyed being part of the community. Again, that's absolutely fine. Just nice to have new faces.
Yeah, I mean, it's just point is, if you join, have fun, enjoy what you're doing. But I think that's pretty much everything we've got covered at the minute. So, any last bits of advice before we end this?
No, just you know where to catch us, and hopefully see some new faces soon.
That would be, and that would be 606v2.com.
That's the
or
one.
You can just Google 6CWF, and that will be that's the end of our little information ramble. So until next time, take care, folks.
See you later.